Welcome to EFT Nation, your home for all things tapping. For show notes and resources, please visit EFTtappingtraining.com. We are your tapping hosts. I'm Alina Frank.
And I'm Craig Wiener. The information provided in this podcast is not a substitute for counseling or medical advice. The information presented here is meant to inspire and educate listeners, but are not guarantees of any kind.
Okay, so you get to the end of the year, and we're recording this in November, and your thoughts turn to the year ahead. Like, what is the year going to hold? And starting to think about intentions and goals and things like that, and what you can call a success in the current year, and maybe where you could have done better. But I don't think I've ever in my lifetime experienced a year where so many people were just ready to say goodbye. Mm-hmm. And so here we are at the end of 2020, and it's like, good riddance. We can't get to 2020 fast enough.
Yeah. Fresh page, new start, clean slate.
Yeah.
Really ready.
Right. So I thought that we would take some time to really help our listeners think about how to use EFT for manifesting what they want. Mm-hmm. Goal setting, mindset, and using law of attraction with EFT, because I think there's a lot of misinformation about that.
Very powerful. We've run, how many years now? Every year at the beginning.
We started it before we were married, and we've been married this year 10 years. So I would say it's been about 11 years since we started doing the Ready, Set, Manifest class.
Mm-hmm. Which really we kind of say at the beginning of each year in January, what do we want to call in? What do we want to co-create? How can we use EFT and a variety of, rituals and other approaches to combine to really create a magical outcome for the year, something that that our heart desire is set on creating.
Yes.
And using EFT to do that, which is such a powerful part of the recipe.
Absolutely. And it's great because we have people that come back year after year and they tell us how the year went. And so I, as soon as we announced that, of course, we're opened up the registration for the next Ready, Set, Manifest, I had some people on the newsletter email me saying, wow, I got exactly what I asked for in spite of everything that was going on in 2020. Mm-hmm. And I know that for us, it was really it wasn't about our business. It was really a more personal goal that we set, and we put into what we call the wheel.
It was about bringing some more love and joy and fun that showed up in a furry little four-legged being whose time it felt right for us to have show up.
Absolutely. And you can follow her on Instagram. There's nothing really about EFT on her Instagram page.
It's just joy.
It's just love and joy, and it's tapping BB Bear.
BIBI.
Yeah. So let's break this down into some parts that people can start applying now.
Mm-hmm. I hear a lot of times people going, how about, is it possible to just tap on and just tap into the positive? Like, I just want to tap in $100,000.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I just even though
No, not even though.
Not even though. I'm tapping in $100,000 this year.
Right.
How well does that work?
It doesn't.
Dang.
That's not the purpose of real EFT. It might be the purpose of some tapping stuff that you see out there, but it's not real EFT.
Right. And why doesn't it work so well that way?
Because you can't clean the house unless you've seen the dirt.
Oh, that means like dealing with what's getting in the way of me creating $100,000.
Exactly.
Oh man. Okay. Fine.
Yeah. Well, you know how you're in the middle of a bad day, and then everything just get up. What we figuratively say, we woke up on the wrong side of the bed, and then from then on out, your day will suck. And if you don't pay attention to it and say, okay, I need to stop and I need to change direction, then the rest of your day is just going to or even get worse. and then that'll linger, and maybe the next day will be the same.
Okay. So how do I figure
Stop
out?
that
Yeah.
stop that downward spiral by really like, oh, that's what's happening, and tapping on what I'm feeling.
Okay. So the first one is just realizing I need to stop and pause and deal with whatever yucky might be influencing the rest of my day or year.
Absolutely, because
Right.
the more yum you have in your life, the more joy you have in your life, the more happiness and connection and peace that you have in your life, the easier it is to manifest anything you want.
Okay. So how do I figure out what yuck is getting in the way of my yum? How do I start to figure out what's stopping me from achieving that I want? Whether it's money, relationship, spiritual connection, vocational clarity,
Sure.
pattern interruption, whatever.
Sure. That's all, in LOA lingo, that
Loa?
law of attraction
Oh, okay.
lingo,
Okay.
that is called contrast. And so sometimes we really do need to see the contrast in order to know what it is that we want.
Okay. So if I say that I want to manifest a new intimate relationship, a
Yeah.
new amount of success in my business, or
Yeah.
whatever that is,
Yes.
then the contrast that
Is
might have been showing up is what's stopping me from having that.
right.
Right? Which are maybe
Or
the
what it is that that you're in now. What's your current situation
where it's not happening.
where it's not happening, and
Right.
tapping on your feelings about those specific events that are making you feel less than positive about where your current situation is.
So like maybe recent attempts to stretch myself financially and invest, and it didn't go anywhere,
Right.
or it actually went backwards, or reaching out on a dating site or whatever it was to create a relationship and ended up getting the door shut in my face, however it was
Yes.
emotionally.
Yes.
And so all of those negative experiences
Right.
build up inside of me
Right.
and have a lot stronger muscle memory than the
Yes.
possibility of the new and different of what I really desire.
Absolutely. And once you start to lessen the hold that has on you, I think from that point you can start doing a very important step, which is deciding and getting specific. Because the universe is waiting for you to declare what you want, and unless you decide, your results are going to be just like wishy-washy, hit or miss, sporadic. And you really do need to be concrete about it. But what happens the minute that you declare you want something, on the heels of that is all the fear.
Yeah. Yeah. And even just as you're saying, it sounds like we just kind of flew by that. Like that's the easy part, deciding what you want.
Oh no.
Oh my
Oh
goodness. How
no.
many clients have you worked with when you ask what do you really want is like, I'm not sure. I don't know how to decide. I don't know if I can trust myself. I don't know if I'm
Sure.
making the right decision. I don't know if it's the right thing to focus on. I don't know if this is what I really want. I mean, just the decision clarity
Yeah.
brings up a lot to tap on for many people.
Oh, absolutely. And so why is it hard to decide, if setting aside the fear, but why is it hard to decide? Because in the past you've decided on something, and you either had negative repercussions, or you were told, especially as a child, that it wasn't okay to choose what you wanted to have.
Right. Yeah, history. Not trusting yourself with decisions because of ones that went wrong in the past.
Right.
So if you can't even have the clarity of what you want, it makes it a lot harder
Absolutely.
to get it. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's say you've made your decision.
Yes.
You're really clear on what you want. What would make your vibrational frequency higher? What would bring you a sense of gratitude, joy, excitement, enthusiasm about your life, and you get clear on what that is?
Yeah.
Step one.
Well, yeah, and we're talking about tapping.
Tapping
So,
on
yeah,
that to do that. So
all
tapping
that.
on
Yeah.
the fear that what if I make a wrong decision?
Right.
Based on what
Right.
happened in the past.
Yes.
What tapping on the times that I did trust myself and it quote unquote didn't work out.
Right.
So those
I would
experiences.
say the other thing to do, and this goes under the label of deciding as well, is please don't pick 5 different things,
Right.
5 different areas of your life that you want to magically get better all at once.
Yep.
You lose heart and you lose the momentum if you don't see things shifting. And so do yourself a favor and pick one area. So in coaching, we call it the big five. So spirituality, work, money, relationship, and health. So pick one of those areas that you want to see improvements on, and then narrow the focus on what it is that you want to manifest in that area.
And, a big piece of getting that specific is not how it's going to happen.
No.
Is not exactly how it's going to look in its coming to you.
Yes.
That is kind of a co-creation with the amorphous universe, spiritual, unseen, however you want to look at that.
Yeah.
It's not how it's going to happen, but it's what it's going to look like, and especially what it's going to feel like when it happens.
Exactly. And so anything that helps you amp up that feeling is going to be helpful. So what doesn't amplify that feeling is all the stuff that's getting in the way, whether you have a busy work schedule or you have children or the stress of COVID or reading the news. I mean, all of those things you're going to have to learn how to either tap on and how you're feeling about it, or find something that you can do to actively start changing your behavior around them.
And just in the doing that part, the contrast of what's getting in the way is perfect because it's showing you what's in the way to be able to tap on. Yeah. I don't have time to do that.
Right.
Well, then you're going to have to work on that not having enough time.
Right.
I don't think I deserve that.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Issues of deservement. So all those things that get in the way, don't let that take you down. Right. That's the perfect thing that needs to have your attention shed light on to be able to tap on and diminish.
Right. So let's say you got those 5 categories. Let's say that you you really want to work on health. It's a real thing, and I often think that health is like at the top of the iceberg for a lot of issues. Like that's what's showing up, and if you don't work on that, if you don't have your health, you don't have anything else. So think about for this example, think about the category is health. I want to improve my health. I want you to think about the times in your life, including right now, where your health is less than optimal, and write down those specific events around having poor health and clear the deck. Tap on each and every event that you list and how you feel about that happening. Diagnoses from doctors, things that you read online about your condition, friends telling you well-intentioned advice that was traumatic to hear.
And just, can we do a quick reminder for people, we're saying like tap on the time that.
Yes.
How would you do that?
Get to the specific event, find the emotion that you're feeling about it now, looking back at that event, see if you find it somewhere in your body that you can tap on, and then the steps are on our website. So you can just go to our website, you can see, there's a quick get start on EFT Quicks on our website, EFT tapping training.
Yeah, so even though I feel really angry about the time that the doctor said that.
Yes, exactly.
And I feel that in my chest.
Exactly.
Right, it's like a 10, right?
Yes.
I still deeply and completely accept myself.
Yes.
Right, basic EFT.
Right. What you want to do when you're thinking about your goal and your desired outcome and what you want to manifest is the why you want to do it. Okay. Why you want to have it happen. Often when something isn't manifesting, there might be an element of, because that's what I should want, or it's because someone close to me wants that for me, and that's not going to fly. It's just not going to have the power to bring it, to have it come.
True. It won't have the lasting and sustaining power to keep you through kind of the ups and downs and,
Yep. So what stands in, so then the next step is like really trusting, trust, believe, allow. And that is there could be a ton of tapping that needs to go into that part, because some of us like a lot of control.
And some of us hate lack of control.
Exactly. And how it, like you said, how it's going to show up. I need to know exactly how it's going to show up.
And when.
Yes. And the thing is that goals move you and dreams move you in a direction that may turn out very different than what you thought. But if you really have faith, it really does turn out even better than you could have conjured up. in your mind, in your imagination. The universe has a plan for how this is going to be orchestrated behind the scenes, and it's quite magical.
How many times, I'm just going to pause and ask you, how many times in your life did you decide that your course was northeast,
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
and now looking back, it took you southwest, and thank God it did.
Oh, yes, so
But
many
at
times.
the time,
Oh, yeah.
was hitting your head up against the wall about how come you weren't heading northeast the direction you thought because the choreography of the universe knew better.
Exactly.
And in retrospect, you can see that, but in the moment, how hard is it?
Very hard. Very hard. Because of our ego, we just think we know it all. I'm going to go back and refer to a previous episode that we did on psychological reversal / secondary gain, because any long-standing pattern, that means if you've had health issues your whole life, if you've had money issues your whole life, if you've had relationship issues all your life, then a couple of things you need to look for are patterns and belief systems. And patterns and belief systems also come from events. But you want to list, what are the safety issues? How is reaching this goal that I want somehow bringing me a feeling of not being safe? What does that mean? Deserving. Really being in feeling like I deserve it. And if there's a part of you that feels like you don't deserve it, then find out those events that make you feel like you're not deserving. And then identity, which could be as simple as, well, nobody else in my family has that, and if I have that, then, my family will not like me.
Yeah. And the conscious is usually, I want this.
Right.
It's like the tip of the iceberg.
Yes.
But the real mass of the iceberg
Yes.
is below that level of awareness, and it's all the evidence that differs than that I don't deserve this, that I can't really have that, nobody in my family has ever attained that. All of those things usually aren't like on the tip of our mind when we're thinking about what we desire.
Right.
But they do make the decisions of how swiftly I move towards it or not.
So can you, for just a quick minute, give a brief reminder of how to work with affirmations? Because I think that's part of this too. How we work with affirmations in EFT, something called tail enders.
Mm-hmm. And so affirmations, I imagine almost everybody here has done them or listened to them or has a sense of affirming that which I desire. So, and we do it in the present tense, right? So I have the perfect partner that respects me and makes me feel good and puts me in a place of gratitude, and I have that partner with me and feeling all the love for that partner right now. Okay, so that's the affirmation that I'd be saying perhaps if I didn't have that and was wanting to create that. Mm-hmm. Okay, so when I tap, and you don't have to use the sleight of hand setup, you just go ahead and you start tapping on the top of the head, start tapping through all the points, saying that affirmation. Now, part of it often is very exciting when we start tapping on that, like I'm tapping it in, but often what starts to happen, especially if it's a big enough contrast, is that there's a part of my brain that's saying, you can't have that. You don't deserve that. Remember the last one that ended up in a complete disaster? Maybe you shouldn't actually be with anybody. Maybe you're not ready. Maybe you haven't healed your past. So all those little voices that we call tail enders are like the yeah buts. Yeah, I know you want that, but fill in the blank.
Right.
So we tap on the affirmations in order to shed light on those contrasting tail ender yeah buts.
Yep.
Because that is what is truly determining the course of my path and journey. Mm-hmm. And so rather than going, oh my goodness, listen to all that negative self-talk, it's like, yes, there's the negative self-talk that's stopping me from actually manifesting this. Now I need to start finding out more about that. Mm-hmm. Why do I feel like I don't deserve it? Mm-hmm. Why do I feel like this is going to result in failure again? What are the events and experiences from my past that are evidence of that, so that I can start to tap on and diminish the intensity and power that those past events have on me.
Yep.
So then the path can get clearer. And then as I start to tap those down, I tap on the affirmations again, and they start to excite me more. And there's less of that negative back chat, back talk. Mm-hmm. Right?
Mm-hmm. I also want to just say something on action. So Yeah, things may come pie in the sky, just land in your lap, and that's great. Many things that are worthwhile really require you to act on your part. And knowing the difference between inspired action and what some call the hi ho silvering charge. Like work, 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 do. And instead of just allowing, trusting, being, and listening for what action steps you need to take and doing it. And those action steps actually, by the time you get to this, this part of the process, actually feel pretty good. Actually feel like, oh yeah, that's exciting. I am going to call that person. Right?
Yeah. And it is a combination of doing and being with.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, it's a big part of our course is like that combination of doing and being.
And what often is this, the catalyst is the serendipity that starts to occur when you're on the right path of being and doing,
Right.
with clear intention. All of a sudden there's you see a line in a movie that describes exactly what you were just saying.
Exactly.
And all of a sudden somebody says something to you, or
Right.
you notice something, you read something, it's like, oh my God.
The signs.
The
yeah,
little signs
those
that start
signs.
saying you are on the right. Universe is going, keep going, keep going. You're
Right.
doing great, keep
Right.
going. And even though it's not there yet, it often is enough to keep you moving forward.
Absolutely. Great. So if you want to experience a little taste of manifesting what it is that you want, we're doing it. Actually, it's going to be a lot of fun. And it's not really advertised anywhere. It's just for people that listen to our that are part of our newsletter. So it's on the newsletter, but it's not on our website. So sign up for our newsletter if you'd like, or be part of our large EFT Facebook group where the event is actually posted. We're going to do a vision board, a 3-hour exercise of creating a vision board and including some sort of matrix reimprinting EFT exercises too. And that's going to be December 13th at 9 a.m. Seattle time.
2020.
Yeah, 2020.
For those
yes,
of you that are
yes.
off in the future listening back to this. So who
Right,
knows?
and it's completely free. And then we also we invite you to check out our Ready Set Manifest course, which starts every January. All right, keep on tapping.
Thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us today at EFT Nation. And remember that you can find show notes and previous episodes at EFTtappingtraining.com.